De Gea then, it's so hard to unpick De Gea because it feels like he's one of Man United's most crucial players at times. He's got them out of so many different holes this season, even let alone across his entire history with the club. I think he's still on for the Golden Glove in the league this season.
Mm.
Yet also, it seems like one of your most obvious areas to improve at times as well. How do you evaluate De Gea at the moment, Dave? And is it someone that you would give an extra year to or longer at the club?
There's so many areas in his game that actually are detrimental to our way of playing. I mean, if you look at some of the areas that he has committed this season, a lot of them have been through trying to play out from the back. And
Yeah,
he quite simply isn't good enough on the ball to be able to do that. And more recently, he's actually been going kind of more direct, more kind of playing diagonal passes, long balls. And that's obviously because teams have identified that he's not good enough on the ball. So they will find sort of pressing patterns to be able to sort of exploit that. And we've seen it, happen. Obviously, the Sevilla game more recently. I just feel as though the way Ten Hag wants a goalkeeper to play with Man United, I just don't think De Gea is the right fit to be able to do that. And whether that is addressed this summer or the following summer, I kind of understand that we've got a limited budget, obviously due to FFP. So I'll be very surprised if we make a big investment in the goalkeeping area. I think we'll bring in another goalkeeper, but I don't think it'll be a huge investment. I know David Raya has obviously been discussed and been mentioned, who I think will be quite a good, I don't want to be disrespectful, but a good stopgap if we are kind of undecided on who to bring in the future. But I mean, we speak about him as a keeper and what he's done for United, done for the club. It's actually quite sad because he's won Player of the Year 4 times for United.
oh,
Which to be
phenomenal
fair,
time at United.
yeah, which to be fair, obviously was a terrible time for the club with how
Yeah,
badly the team were playing. But it was just actually quite sad that it was coinciding with United playing really poorly, obviously going through a really
yeah.
sort of rough patch, that he was displaying his rich vein of form consistently for a number of years, and he really did deserve a lot more. Let's not forget he nearly went to Real Madrid. Obviously, that it was well known fact that he wanted to go back to Madrid. But I just feel as though if you look at a lot of the things that are happening, and there's a lot of times this season where he's been making saves and they've said, "Oh, it's a brilliant save," but it's been moments from, for instance, it will be from a set piece or a corner where a delivery is swung in. De Gea's not come out and claimed it.
Mm.
It's then been headed out where he should have come out and claimed it because the ball is so kind of close to his sort of 6 yard area that he should be dominating the area, coming in and out and claiming it. Then a shot's coming in and he's having to make a wonder save to save it when actually it could all be avoided by him just
Yeah.
dominating and commanding his area a lot more with a lot more authority, and it's just something he completely lacks.
It's funny,
Um,
isn't it? Because he's 32 now, which actually that's the peak for a lot of goalkeepers. So it's nothing to suggest that he is going to be on a kind of rapid decline if Man United did stick with him, Mike. I wonder whether De Gea is the biggest problem in your defence right now and the thing that really needs addressing or not as well. Where do you stand? Do you think that there is a case that De Gea might be worth keeping hold of, or do you think it's time to move on from him as well?
It's conflicting, and I think you said statistically how he could win the Golden Glove kind of represents how conflicted it is, really, because he's at that point now where he's losing as many points as he's gaining for us. And like you said, in Dave's case, he was saying that a lot of times it's self-inflicted as well. He's making saves to recover from his own mistakes. So it's this balancing act now with, is he worth keeping in the team? And I've got to say, no, he isn't. I think if we need to press on, we need to give the defence confidence that their goalkeepers got their backs. And I think it explains a lot of the last couple of seasons where we've had the likes of Harry Maguire, who's been short of confidence. It probably doesn't help having David De Gea behind him is also equally jittery. So going forward, that needs to change. And if I was going to invest anywhere, I would say goalkeeper would be more of a priority than centre-back if I had to choose. But again, I'm realistic. I think if Dave says we need a stopgap, I'm in the same kind of opinion, really. I don't think there's many elite goalkeepers we can afford to buy right now. So yeah, David Raya would be amazing. I actually think he'd probably fight a case to be a permanent number one as well, because he's got a lot of qualities, Dave, like you say, that do sit in well with the philosophy that Ten Hag is trying to breed into the team. But it's a difficult thing for United fans to say, because he's been such a great servant. I think the right thing to do would be to, yes, extend his contract by another year, but on the proviso that he's going to be the backup, definitely. Just out of respect for him, really. I think just discarding him is too harsh. But he needs to reduce his salary massively. He's the best paid goalkeeper in the league, and he should be on a fraction of that, maybe a quarter of what he's on at the minute. And I think he'd probably agree to that as well, because I think he acknowledges that he is not going to get a move anywhere else on the salary close to what he's on now. And being at United, even as a backup and number two, would probably be his best career path now for the rest of his career, you know?